Hello everyone, my name is Ahmed. In today's C# lesson, we're going to talk about object methods and constructors. Let's begin. Okay guys, let's start with the constructors. Constructors, basically, let me just explain that, are the first technical methods that gets executed whenever I try to or create another object. So when I create my book1 object here, the constructor that I'm gonna write second later from now is going to get executed. Again, if when I come to write book2 here, then I create my second object, it's going to get executed again. So let's write one. To write our first constructor, we just need to write public, then our class's name. So public book. And there we go. This is our first constructor. Of course, I need to delete this. Okay, this is our first constructor. But this is a default constructor. So basically, what I mean by default, this is not an overloaded one. We are going to talk about that later in this course. Now, what I want to do that whenever I try to create a book class, I wanted to say me a book is getting created. So let me just write that down. A book is getting created. So whenever I create another object, this constructor this constructor method is going to get executed and it's going to print out a book is getting created. Let me execute my program here. And as you can see, I have two objects here. So one for each, a book is getting created, is printed out, guys. And actually, I can use that constructor for something else. Like, I can delete this book2's variables or values to extract. And when I try to print my book to title, what I'm gonna get? I'm gonna get nothing. I'm gonna get the invalid values here. So what I want to do that, I want to create my default values for title, author, and pages. And I can do that here. So let me just come here and write title, let's just say unknown, author, again unknown, and for the pages, let's just say -1. So it can be different from the 0. So now when I try to execute my program, or basically these ones, as you can see, we're getting book2 unknown for the author, for the title, book2 unknown, this is for the title, this is for the author, and this is for the page. Why is that? Because I'm not assigning any values from here to title, author, and pages, guys. Now, what I want to show you is that I want to create a public book with a arguments between these parentheses. So basically an overloaded constructor. I can easily copy this and paste this here because I can create a default constructor with no overloads and the overloaded constructor. I can create as many as I want. Now, what I want to do that, I want to create title, author, and pages here. So I'm just gonna come here, put an underline and write title. I don't need to put the underline, I just need some value, some string value for the title that I'm gonna assign. So you can just write anything else. I'm just gonna write underscore title for the title. Again, string underscore author and int underscore pages. Then I'm just gonna delete all of these and assign those variables to my title here. And of course, let me change this to overloaded. Why am I going to do that? Because I'm gonna change my, let me just paste this here, change my these three variables, public to private, guys. Now I'm gonna show you how to access some private variables while we are in our program class, so we are in a different class. Technically, I can't reach that, right? Because this is private. So I'm getting errors here. Actually, let me, or no, I don't want to delete this. I can't use these anymore. Why is that? Because our title, author, and pages are private now. But instead of doing this, I can actually write this, or not actually, I have to write this in my book parentheses here, my new book objects parentheses here. Why is that? Because when I try to create my book here, I need to write 3 arguments in here. Why 3? Because I created the overload constructor with 3 arguments. This constructor wants us to put 3 values in here. So I'm just gonna do that. Let me just copy all of these and paste this here and delete this. Now what do I have? I have book 1 with values in it, and I have book 2 with no values in it. And if I try to delete this default constructor, now I'm gonna get an error here, or basically I can okay, you see the book error. Why is that? Because I don't have a default error, so every time when I try to create a new object, I have to fill all of these variables from there. So basically I have to put some values like this. But before, I had this default constructor, so I can create an object without assigning any values to it. What happens when I assign no values to it? The title and author and page value becomes these values. So 2 unknown and the -1. Now let's print the book one's values, right? So let's print its title, author, and pages. But of course, I can print those right now. Why is that? Because my title, author, and page is now private. Because of that, I can't call them right now. As you can see, I'm getting an error. But I can access them with while writing values in my book here. So basically, in my overloaded constructor, I can assign those values right now, but I can call it right now. So what I have to do, I have to change those to back to public. I can access it with my overload constructor, I can assign values, but I can't call right now. So let me just start my program, and you're gonna see some values here, and you're gonna see the default values here. So let me just start, and as you can see, we are getting a book is created with book 1, and as you can see, I'm getting Aztec, and 322, and the default values of book 2. And I'm not getting, as you can see, a book is creating here or here. Why is that? Because I have an overloaded constructor here now. Because of this, I'm not getting my book 2's a book is getting created here. But if I delete this and start again, and of course I need to delete this as well, because I have no longer an overloaded constructor. As you can see, I'm getting a 2 because creating is printing out. So let me just get those back, change those to public, and get these back. Okay, now I want to do something else. What I want to do is, if my pages is bigger than 1000, I want my book class here to return me a true value. If it's not, I want it to return me a false value. How can I do that? If I come here and write another method for that, let's just say public bool, because it's going to turn us true false values, and let's just write bigger than. Then what I want to do that, I want to check if my pages here is bigger than 1000 or not. So I'm just gonna write my argument if pages bigger than, or let's say equal than 1000, return me a true value. If it's not, return me a false value. So what did just happen? I created a bool method here in my book class. Don't forget that this is in my book class. Then I access those private values here because I am still in my book class. Be careful about it. If I try to write that here, I'm just going to get an error. As you can see, I'm still getting an error because those variables are private right now. Then I return true or false. Now what I need to do, I need to call those methods. But first, I need to delete these because I can't reach those now. Actually, let me just delete all of these. Then add some values to my book 2 Ezra. Let's just say 2, let's just say John and 1500. Okay, now I need to do what? I need to call that bigger than method. So let's just do that. Let's create a console writeline command actually and print that out in my console writeline. I can easily do this, but how am I gonna call that method? In my class, how are we calling the method? If we just write like bigger than, if that method was on my program class, I can just write bigger than and put some parentheses and do it like that, right? If I can do like this, if that bigger than method was in my class program, but it's not, right? So how can I do that? I need to use my object. So what I want to do that, I want to check my book 1, technically book 1's pages is bigger than 1000. So I need to write my object first. Actually, let me delete this so you can see book 1. Then I put a point in here. You're gonna see a bigger than method here. Why is that? Because we have that method right there, guys. So I'm just gonna put the parentheses here again. And as you can see, you are gonna see the result here. What are you gonna see? If it's bigger than 1000, you're gonna see true. If it's not, you're gonna see false. So in this point, in this example, you're gonna see false. Let me just execute my program, and as you can see, the answer, the result is false right now. But when I try to call my book 2, you're gonna see the result true, guys. And as you can see, I'm seeing the result true. And with this, we came to end of our lecture, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in our next C# lessons. Goodbye.